remember Friend Tech and how crazy viral it went? And remember how it just crashed out completely as the founders just dropped the ball in every way possible? Well, there might be a second chance for SocialFi, as there's a new product called Backroom, which fixes a lot of Friend Tech's inefficiencies and issues and is actually a really, really great product. So Backroom reminds me of Friend Tech, but with AI implementation as well as better fees for creators and overall much better tokenomics and economy design. Backroom was a Virtual's Genesis launch. So they actually launched way back in June, and the token's just been hanging out there, recently did a parabolic run, and it's currently repricing, and there's a accumulation phase right now. So this is to just give you an idea. The token itself has been around for a while. So let's talk about the product itself, as well as marketing and go-to-market lessons that other founders can take from it, right? Because these guys have really captured mindshare lately. They ran to 25 million FTV and are currently around 7 to 8. So they've definitely been capturing a ton of attention in the Virtuals ecosystem. First of all, what is Backroom? So let's dive into it. So inside Backroom, you basically have a feed of alpha from top creators, right? So what you do as a creator is you can come in here, you can build your own room, and then you connect it to a Telegram group chat or Discord group chat, and it actually grabs AI insights and then goes and pushes that into summaries for other people to read in your room. So whenever you see these insights that are here, right, which are blurred, obviously, because you need keys for this, so I'm going to blur everything except the title out. But basically, to give you an example, the typical Backroom style post is something along the lines of, hey, there's a growing interest in this type of project with this ticker. This is why it's starting to take off XYZ. So the whole idea here is it's basically a place for creators to share alpha in these private rooms. And the best part is they don't have to put in any effort. They don't have to go and create content. It just plugs into their existing alpha chats or Discord chats and then grabs insights from there. So when I scroll through my Backroom, I actually think there's a lot of really, really strong signal in here. I've actually made multiple buys in here, and one of them's worked out quite well. The whole recent rotation of capital into bid was actually called out in the founder Leonard's Backroom. So basically there was a lot of information in there on whales essentially having issues with virtuals, deciding to rotate into bid. And you kind of saw that rotation happen in real time because bid basically repriced 50%, which is the creator bid ecosystem token. So essentially you see a lot of alpha being called out here. Now, what's in it for the creator? The way it works is you need to go and buy keys, right? And in this page, I'll unblur everything. So for example, in ICO Beasts, I have 2 keys. I can go buy more keys and you can essentially resell those keys. So it's similar to Friend Tech keys as well, right? Basically what you can do in here is you can go buy good creators keys and that's how you get access. Now the keys are on a bonding curve. So what that essentially means is as more keys keep getting bought, the price goes up and then you can resell it for a higher price. And then obviously if more keys are sold, then the price goes down, right? So the way the bonding curve works, right? So basically if somebody buys the first key, that first key is going to be very cheap. And then if you sell that first key, you sell it back into the bonding curve, right? So you're going to sell it for a very low amount, right? And essentially as more keys keep getting bought up, then that price on that bonding curve keeps going up and up, right? So obviously later entrants pay more. So this is an interesting dynamic where if a certain room is very popular, the key will start accruing value. Now, because there is a fee every time you trade a key, right? So every time you buy a key from the bonding curve or you sell a key into the bonding curve, you're basically paying a certain fee. I believe it's around 5% of the total key fee. And then a certain percentage of that goes to the creator and a certain amount goes to the actual protocol, right? So what's interesting here is that top creators through these trading fees are earning quite a bit. So ICO Beast, who's one of the top KOLs on crypto Twitter or the top voices on crypto Twitter, whatever you want to call him, he's earned 6K in 2 to 3 days during the launch period. Obviously, there was a lot of trading volume there, but that is very, very impressive. So essentially, creators can monetize their alpha / their, basically their special knowledge without having to really put in too much effort other than the initial setup. And then you as a trader can get access to these creators, right, and their information. Now, the best part about this is this also allows you to get information that they necessarily wouldn't put out on X, right? So for example, ICO Beast, I don't think he's going to talk about smaller, riskier plays because then he'd get accusations that he's using his huge audience in basically ways that are manipulative. But in a small private group, I think he can call out something interesting he sees that's a microcap without any issues. Now, what is the utility of their token Room? So you can basically buy and sell these keys just in Room. So you do need the Room token to buy keys. And actually, let me correct myself. The fee for actually trading keys is 8%. It's not 5%. So if my editor can edit that out, and when I previously said that, that would be awesome. If not, all good. You know it now. So the fee is 8% for trading keys, and 5% goes to the creators, and then 3% goes to the protocol itself. There's also a 1% trading fee on the virtual Room liquidity pool, as this did launch on virtual, so it's a virtual Launchpad project, so there is revenue being generated there. Now, what's in the roadmap here? So one of the things that's in the roadmap here that the founder has publicly mentioned is adding in more advanced scoring and sentiment scoring, as well as potential risk assessment, potentially having custom workflow automations, even like looking and analyzing kind of like the alpha signals, perhaps ranking them as well, right? There's a lot of directions this product could take. I think the cool thing about the founder is he's just focused on the next couple of steps. So he's not really focused on what's down the line 6 to 12 months. He's just more so focused on the next 1 or 2 releases that will make the product better. The final phase that I've gathered from his online Twitter and from the docs I've seen is this whole idea of execution agents that can essentially automatically execute based on alpha gathered in certain rooms. So this would also include a performance dashboard so you can track ROI, etc. So this could turn into a full-fledged DeFi AI product. And this is why I'm really, really bullish on Backroom. One, it's something that I think has a product market fit in crypto. Like, creators want to monetize their information, but do it in a manner where they are able to give their community members special access. There's also value in alpha in crypto. People are willing to pay for an edge, and this also gives people that edge. And the last piece here is that this also ties into DeFi AI. So if the founder, Leonard, is able to build this into a DeFi AI style product, this could be incredibly bullish. So one final thing I do want to say here is that Backroom also is a revenue generating protocol. In the first 6 days since their main product went live, they generated $230,000 in trading fees in 6 days. And most of that was through key trading fees, right? That's a very impressive amount of fee generation. So they are actually generating revenue. So overall, my view is that if they're able to keep up this momentum, they're onboarding creators on a daily basis, they keep executing, I definitely see this going places. So it's starting to become one of my more higher conviction holdings, right? So now there are a few go-to-market lessons that you can take away from this. So one of the big lessons here is that attention is the product itself. In crypto, we've seen how powerful attention is in driving market share. And because the fact that everything is a liquid token in crypto, you can quickly see the effects of attention in the prices of tokens, right? If you build a product where attention is a key part of the product loop, you're going to get a lot of success, right? If you look at Kaito of Cookie, they're all tapping into that trend of essentially helping project founders get attention. And that's also what Backroom is doing in a separate kind of way. In Backroom, it's more so aggregating the best information. That's the attention that's valuable, right? That's like a very specific subset of attention, but that's important to know. A second key learning here is that speculation is a big part of crypto, right? If you look at all the products in crypto that have done well, there is an element of speculation, of essentially being able to make bets, whether it's prediction markets, which are hot right now, whether it's DeFi, you are depending on this whole idea of like trying to figure out what's going to happen, right? And if you look at this flywheel that Backroom has, right? The first flywheel is that traders and retail want alpha. They're willing to pay for it. So that's already something, if you tap into that, you're going to do well. The second layer is that traders want to buy and sell things, right? Like, and keys are another way for them to essentially create arbitrage markets, right? So I think as they see more volume, you will see more key traders come in and people who are able to kind of see smart opportunities, buy in, resell, etc. Now, the third one is that makes this all work is that creators are basically able to use AI to monetize their group chats they're already in, or like, you know, their own private alpha chats, and they're able to monetize in a way that generates a new stream of revenue for them with very little effort. So you're essentially giving them what they want without any effort, which is a huge, huge victory. So this whole system has been extremely well thought out. And that's kind of the big lesson here for me is you really want to think about your product in terms of these frameworks of whether it taps into attention or enables attention. Does it enable better speculation, and does it help traders out? All of these questions are really important because they create these flywheels that lead to more and more attention being aggregated into your specific product, right? Because with Backroom, as creators make more money about it, they're going to talk about it more, and that's going to drive more and more attention into the product. Another flywheel is if people are making a lot of money based on alpha signals, they're going to talk about it on Twitter and or on X, and they're basically going to drive more attention to the product, and people want these rooms, so they're going to go and buy more room keys using rooms. Now, in terms of the bull case, right, as I mentioned, they did 230K in 6 days after their initial launch of their product. That goes out to 14 million ARR. Their market cap right now, I think it's around 6 or 7 million. You can already see the numbers are like looking very, very good. Now, obviously that was post-launch, so maybe the numbers have slowed down a bit. But with a product like this, I think if they are able to maintain strong revenue numbers, this will continue to do very, very well. And you'll just have a lot of demand for the token from people who want to essentially get access to alpha signals. So ultimately, it's going to come back to the question, are they able to onboard more creators? I think building out a referral program or affiliate program to build and bring in creators makes a lot of sense. It's going to ultimately depend on how good they are at curating people who make winning calls, and then how good are they at amplifying those wins, right? So I do think there's a good, strong bull case here. What I like about the founder is he's extremely active on Twitter, right? So he's basically constantly bull posting on X. He also engages with his community very actively. He's like very easy to get in touch with. So he's somebody who's in the trenches really, really trying to make this work. Now, my question to you is, what if all the biggest names and the biggest alpha callers are on Room? Right? If that is the bull case, I think we'll see some pretty incredible growth from here on out. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the growth lessons as well. This is Shash with Crescendo. We're a go-to-market agency for top AI teams like Aether, Mavari, and as well as deepen teams like Beamable. So feel free to reach out to me if you're looking for help with scaling your go-to-market. I'll see you in the next video.